Pay close attention. This isn't something you see every day.
Welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about the Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Old Man Raphael by NECA. Now, here we have Raphael in this beautiful box right here. We have some beautiful artwork right here from back in the comic, and then on the side of the box we have some more beautiful artwork right here of Raphael as well, and then on the back some promotional shots of other figures in the line, some promotional shots of Raphael, and then on this side we have another shot of Raphael, and on the bottom there's everybody here who took part in sculpting this figure. The illustration was done by Kevin Eastman, so that's awesome. So yeah, here's everybody. If you want to pause and take a look, by all means do so. Now let's get Raph out of this box and let's talk about him. All right, so now we have Old Man Raph out of the box, and my gosh, man, it has been years since I have seen this character in the comic. Now, I do have the comic that this character appeared in somewhere. I mean, you know, I just, you know how it is when you're a kid growing up and you're reading comics, and for those that read comics, well, anyway, this character appeared in a comic back in 1988. It was a short story that was written by Peter Laird and illustrated by Kevin Eastman. This comic was first published as a backup. I think it was a backup to the Mirage comics, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but it was known as the Puma Blues. And in the issue number 20, this story features a future wilderness dwelling version of Raphael, which is this guy right here, right? And he would appear later on in short stories like in The Day in the Life and Dark Shadows. And listen, so here we have this guy, and yes, this hat right here is considered an accessory that comes with the character. He has his cloth cape, which is very, very nice. And I will go back into a little bit more of the past of this character. This wasn't like, you know, a big story that was done where Raphael was like this and he was trying to fix something or whatever the case is. It was just future wilderness Raphael. Now, we will go over some of this stuff, but right now let's take a look at this guy. I'm going to remove this. So taking a look at this head sculpt, I mean, that is beautifully done. Yes, he is missing an eye, which I will talk about that. I like the fact that he has all the little scars and the wrinkles that give him that aged look, especially in his shell, his arms, his face, everything. And yes, this is the, I guess you would say, the Jim Lawson turtle body. But if you ask me, he seems a little stockier than those turtles. Now, I could be wrong, but I do like the way they did these wraps right here on the forearms. And then I do like the way they did these wraps down here over the calves and the shins. And just his thighs and his, you know, his calves just look bigger than the regular Lawson. Same thing with the shell here. To me, this seems a little bit thicker the way they did him. So I don't know if this is, you know, it's based off of that because it's the character, but I could be wrong because I don't have anybody else out here to compare him to. But I mean, look at all this beautiful line work that they did to this figure. Now, yes, it's typical NECA articulation, but the one thing that gets me for him being so aged and all that is this cape here. Now, yes, it's nice and it's cool and it's cloth and everything, but why didn't they make it tattered? Because in the comic, it's all tattered up. It's you know, because he's been out in the wilderness and, you know, and what he's doing and everything. But for the most part, it's not a gripe. I'm just pointing that out. They did, I mean, just look at all the scratches on the shell, the dings, dents, all that good stuff. Just beautiful line work on this figure. But yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous and great to have. So if you're actually looking for this guy, you can get him at Target or BBTS or somebody online, where, you know, one of the online retailers where they sell these figures. Now, as far as if you want to have it like over the shoulder, you can drape it, you can flip it, however you choose to do with this guy. Going over the fact that, you know, he has a straw hat. This is not elastic, but it's a soft plastic to get it over the chin. So just gently, when you place it on, position it and gently move it side to side, because I think if you try to do too much, you are going to rip this here and it's going to pull off. Now, just quick little backstory here on this guy as well. His eye, right? So you know, he lost his eye in a battle with Shadow Jones, and Shadow Jones, you know, she becomes somebody else later on in, you know, down the line, whatever the case is, but she is actually like Casey Jones' adopted stepdaughter. But in this version here, you know, before the eye gouging happens, Raph is trying to save this baby from the foot, which you come to find out when you're reading the story that the baby he's trying to rescue is actually Karai's great-granddaughter, who of course becomes Shadow Jones. And then later on, after she was trained and stuff like that by Raph, and because she was actually his student, if I'm not mistaken. If I got that wrong, don't get angry, just leave it in the comments down below. But if I'm not mistaken, she was Raphael's student in the story, and they had a disagreement, an argument, whatever you want to say. They got into a little bit of a battle, and she gouged out his eye. And yeah, so anyway, that's just, you get a chance, if you can find it, definitely pick up that comic. It's called The Puma Blues, if I'm not mistaken, because I haven't seen a comic in so long. It has a picture of a puma on the front, and I don't remember if it's a green background or blue background. Anyway, it's just some stuff that was done back in 1988, you know, which is great. Some great stories in there as well. And I think if that's not the same comic, if I'm not mistaken, that has Michelangelo, who ends up meeting up with a Bruce Wayne in the past, who later becomes the Dark Knight, which that was a cool story and it's on its own as well. But anyway, I digress. He comes with a few accessories, and let me tell you something. They're pretty neat for this character, I have to say. So starting off, we have his hands, right? So his left hands, we have an open hand and we have a gripping hand. If I can get that to focus, there we go. All right. And also he comes with his hands on the figure itself for holding weapons, like his sai or swords or whatever the case. And then for his right hands, same thing. You know, it's got kind of like a weapons holding hand and kind of like a open grasping palm hand. I'm just going to go over these, you know, pretty quick. Next, he has 3 throwing stars. So yeah, they're all the same, but these are very, very nice. You know, look, I had opened them when I started this review, so I haven't really taken a look to see where I can actually put these on the figure itself. May they be in his hands or whatever the case is, but I will take a look to see if they can be stored on the figure. Hopefully they have a spot. And then next, I'm sorry, these are, you get 3 of these, hold on, I'm getting there. 3 of these kunai, or little throwing knives. And that's it. They're just pretty simple, just the way they were drawn back in the day in the comic. So yeah, that's cool. And hopefully you can find a spot. If not, listen, store them somewhere where you're not going to lose them, because God forbid you drop them, you don't realize it, and then they get sucked up by the vacuum, or they get just thrown away because people might not know what they are. And then he comes with his standard sai. Nicely done. Mine have a little bit of some paint rub on it where you can actually see, like right here on this side right here. Why? I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But nice job. just like, you know, they look just like they did in the comic. And yeah, they're not those big, wide, gaudy looking type of sai that sometimes you get with the figure. These are actually nice and sleek. And last but not least of his accessories is this, you know, and it's been a while since I've seen this, so I thought it was cool, is this guy right here, and this is Man Ray. Now this little guy here was in the comic with Raph and one of the stories, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't remember if he's the one that caused the time portal or whatever, because there's like different versions, if I'm not mistaken also. But this here, regardless of what he did in the story, what he didn't do in the story, look at this, look at that. Got the gills underneath, got the eyes on the top, the mouth, nice black, nice soft tail right here. This right here, this guy right here, Man Ray, is the first version of Ray Fillet. Later on, this guy becomes Ray Fillet. So I thought that was really cool that they threw this in there with the character. Now, give me a second. I'm going to try and put everything on him the best way I possibly can, and then we will end this review. Okay, so now that we've taken a look at everything that Raphael comes with, or Old Man Raph comes with, I have to say that, listen, he does come with some good things, okay? But only a couple of missed opportunities that I see here that they could have done, in my opinion, a little bit different. Different, not better, just different. One, make the cape tattered. Two, besides his sai, he has no place to store his weapons, his other weapons. So basically what I did, is I got those glue dots and I stuck them here. Now it would have been nice to have like little tiny pegs or just a little bit of room to put these in. Maybe a little pouch for these guys here, but I used the glue dots. They don't ruin anything. So, you know, these are the, this is what I'm talking about, these glue dots here. You can get them at, you know, any type of arts and craft type store. They're removable, they don't damage anything, they don't hurt anything, they will hold, you know, little things like this. Nothing, you know, they're not gonna hold this figure up, but, you know, just little things like that. I think that they could have done, but you know what, it doesn't make or break the figure. And I use a little bit right here on the finger to hold Man Ray right here onto his hand. So, you know, that's just my opinion, you know, on the fact that, you know, it being missed opportunity, you know, with the figure. But besides that, I mean, hey, it's a great figure to add to your collection. I mean, they're just killing it with this line, just left and right, that they're just killing it. And NECA's doing a fabulous job. Now, we understand that the articulation when it comes to NECA isn't, you know, you're not going to pose these guys in any type of really deep, you know, dramatic poses, which, you know, I guess you could, but for the most part, look, it's a great figure. It's great to have it to your, you know, add it to your collection if you're, you know, if you collect this line. If not, you just want some kind of crazy old man Raphael to put on your shelf and put him however you want. That's up to you. You don't have to have him with Man Ray here or Ray Fillet, whatever you want to call him. You know, you don't have to do any of that stuff. I just figured, you know, if you're looking for, you know, you want to keep the accessories on him, that's just a neat way of doing it. It's easy, it's cheap, it doesn't hurt the figure, and you can pull it right off no matter what, and it just crumbles up. So there's that. But yeah, it would have been nice to have a little, you know, like when they did Handyman Donatello, you know, they gave him all the little pouches for all his little tools, you know, just a little something to fit those stars in, or, you know, like a pouch maybe on the back. They all, you know, put all three of them together, slide them in the little pouch, and then you have the throwing knives, you know, just a little something for them to slide into. That way you can keep them on the figure if you want. Either way, it doesn't make a difference. Like I said, it doesn't make or break the figure. It's a great looking figure. NECA has done a fabulous job with this. I can't say it enough. Definitely guys, if you enjoyed this review on the Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Old Man Raphael. Please like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on anything new. Please leave a comment down below. This all helps the channel grow. I know it's been a little bit between reviews that I put anything up. Like I said, I had broke my foot at work and I'm just trying to get better, and I'm getting there slowly but surely, and here we are. So, you know, like I said, they might come out a little slower, but I am still doing them. So with that being said, guys, I really do hope you enjoyed this review, and no matter where you guys are, I'll catch you on the flippity flip.